Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today I'm going to be listening to Sleeping with Sirens' new album, An Ending in Itself. I'm excited for this because I've heard this be described as a return to form, and by return to form I mean something that's supposed to invoke with ears to see and eyes to hear, but, more modern with its own twist. So I'm excited. The last few Sleeping with Sirens albums, I'm not going to say I didn't like, but I'll say that the songs that I would go back and listen to are really good, and the rest, not bad, just not for me. So I'm excited to see what on here I end up really liking versus, just being like, it's okay. Well, with all that being said, let's get into An Ending in Itself. I do like this first song. It feels like we're building it up to it. It's doing it pretty quickly, but still. That is a very clean guitar part. And I really like that tone. Oh, it feels like we did like kind of a vibe shift there. It's like faster-ish. I feel like I have to catch the beat with the drums. I feel like I'm getting lost in it. I feel like it goes without saying, especially for bands as popular as Sleeping with Sirens, that they really do write a good chorus. Something just very catchy. I've been tapping out a lot of songs recently, and I feel like this song is so, I don't want to say oddly structured, but it feels like we're just kind of really breezing past it, too. Like, would this count as like a third verse, or are we on a bridge right now? I guess it just depends on if it was like... Okay, because we're back to a chorus. Okay, so I think it might have been like intro to like instrumental chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus? I'm like not a good guitarist. I can't tell if this is like just a very legato part or a tapping lead for that lead in the chorus. Okay, we're on a build up. Okay, I think I was right when I figured out the structure earlier. Ooh, you know, I will say this. I love adding distortion to screaming vocals. I feel like it could really add a little bit more grit. Especially because there are layers to that. Ooh. And they kind of went with like a more spacious one. I like the way that they just kind of like added very little to that breakdown to kind of keep the energy moving without having to completely change it up to be something fully different, if that makes sense. Mm. I love Kellen's voice, I mean, but that goes without saying. That first, now it's fine, that fine sounded like he was unaware of where it was going to go. I'm surprised they didn't like shift that or just redo that. But the second time it sounded really good. They got like a little piano following along with the vocal melody there. Ooh, a 6/8? I don't know if I've ever talked about this in another video. I probably have, but it feels very fun to try to decide if something's 6/8 versus 3/4 because they're both like a 3 feel. But I always feel like It's just where do you hear the drums doing the hits? Cause 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. It just feels like the strong hits are hitting that like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I need to really study these songs like this, because whatever intervals Kellen was hitting with the chords that are being played, it's just like ear candy to me. It's buttery smooth. Like it could make it to where I listen to the song just for the chorus only. Hmm. This just might be a me thing, but I feel like I don't hear drums doing like a little like, like I want to say like a slower build up, like a drum roll like that. I just feel like they just keep the drums out until they do the hit. More distortion on the vocals. Was that like an 808 or a bass stab there? Or did they just like let a drum like really ring out? Did it sound like a bass guitar though? They're having fun with dissonance here. This is a really nice guitar part. This is so pretty, actually. That is a very interesting tone on the snare there. I don't know if that's just a bunch of EQing, a different snare altogether, or just room sound. It's like, I don't think it was off. I don't think the snare was off there. Oh, they have like a shaker. They go. It's I don't know if it's like one of the ones that like that or like an actual like egg shaker or I don't know. That's funny. Oh, is there like a bit more of an orchestral element to this one actually? Yeah, no, there's strings here. There's strings here. We drop all the orchestral stuff right after I picked up on it. Oh, switching to a bell hit for the drums. Hmm. Okay. Okay, I can tell this is about to be high speed. High speed, high energy, same thing. And I think it's fun to start with the panning. Rather than just like here for 4 and then here for 4, just back and forth. Call and response, baby. Oh. Ooh, that's a nasty set of sounds. Such a distorted bass with such clean, pristine chords. And I feel like I don't know why I'm appreciating the drums so much. I don't want to seem like I'm glazing the drummer, but I just really feel like whoever he is just holding it down, keeping it tight, keeping it just entertaining. I don't know. It feels like whoever the drummer is really just understood the assignment here. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I think everybody's doing a good job in this so far. Like that, doing dun dun dun, gada da. I don't know. I think it's just like a smart choice that they didn't have to do. And like here, I feel like it's, I don't know how technical like ghost notes are and everything, but it feels like the drummer is just more technical in this part. Sorry, that lead now. See, I don't know why. I feel like this one's in 3/4. 2, 3. Rather than 6/8. It's so odd. It'd be funny if I was just wrong on both of them. Because they both have like the same... Ooh. Such weird guitar stuff going on. You know, I love bands where the vocalist can like scream and sing, because if the vocalist couldn't sing as well as Kellen, then they'd just be doing some probably generic breakdown here. I just love the atmospheric like change, you know? They have the option to do that. Oh, and then we go into something heavier. I do like that they added, I want to say, like, strumming noise. Like, I don't really do a lot of guitar recording with, like, through an amp and anything. So I wonder if that just happens when recording an amp versus, you know, deciding to get an extra mic or doing that as, like, its own layer, you know? You'll play the song not amped up, no whatever, and you'll just play along, and they'll put a mic next to it just to have like the texture of you hitting the strings. Ooh, some type of ascension thing. Noise building up. And then... Oh, that's unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. We are not using that to seamlessly go into the next song. Whew. I feel like there's not a lot of songs that can start with the drummer just hitting the hi-hat twice, or, you know, a few times. Once, twice, 4 times, doesn't matter. And it not just be just, you know? I love that drum fill. And I love that they're not doing the crash. I feel like I'm just feeling like suspense. There's a release. Ooh, they... Was that just... It'd be crazy if that wasn't just like a half chorus or something. Because that's just a crazy thing to just throw in there. Yeah? Okay, okay, build it up. I like, instead of the, I want to say like softer layering that was like more chordal and pad-like, making it guitar and vocals to be like, all right, like we're here and let's keep it going, baby. All right. Oh my god, this drummer. I think I have a new favorite member. I'm gonna Google the drummers from this album because, good god. Is this about his wife? Sorry, I'm... I actually really like this chorus, being so... starting off with those hits. But yeah, I am not a man who listens to lyrics too often. I'll sing along, but I won't think about what they mean. But people complain when I make these that I don't talk about the lyrics and everything. Ooh. 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 I think I might have a favorite. Oh, I think that was perfect. I think this is... Which one is this? Need You Here. I think this might be the best song on the album so far. Like... I think They really locked the hell in on this one. Kellen's like, we're writing a song about my wife, so we need to put our all into this one. Oh, Subversion! You thought he was gonna sing it this time. Though I wish he would just do it like the first time, just one more time. Mmm. I do like a good song that sounds lovey and danceable. Ooh, switching up the drums right there. Can't have it be too, like, samey. Honestly, if they ended it with just the guitar lick, I would have been fine with that, but I was hoping we just got one last hit. Ah, God, that was... sexy isn't the word. It was just beautiful. God. Oh, no. Okay, I thought this was about to be brutal, and then he started singing the riff. Okay, it's pretty heavy. Mmm. Yeah, that drummer. You know what? I'm just a simp for him, I guess. Just grooving. Like, I don't know. I think just because I'm not a drummer, but I do like writing drums for my band and everything, I just appreciate not doing I want to say the more straightforward stuff. Like, I guess I can just very clearly hear how I'd write the drums and how boring they'd be. So I just appreciate, like, somebody who knows what they're doing. Mmm. I kind of. Is it weird that I wish they kind of kept that vibe going instead of just doing the verse again, like minimalizing it, you know? I guess maybe I'm thinking like a hi-hat rim groove type of thing. I don't know. I do appreciate that. I don't think these songs sound too samey. I feel like they're cohesive enough for an album, but like I don't feel like I'm listening to the same song over and over again. I don't think there's been too much screaming in this actually. The first few songs, sure, but like there's heavy elements in the music. That I'm not counting that, yeah, but it's a great solo. Wait, can we end it with a shreddy bit? Ah, okay. There's a bit of screaming in here. I think it's funny. I think that's the second time within just this song I was like, man, we haven't gotten blah blah blah, and then or the band delivers. I feel like now I'm just thinking I would have done that differently or whatever, but it's not even that much. I'm just thinking instead of just like keeping it still just to hits and whatnot, just completely dropping the band out. Oh. Oh, I thought they were just going to end on a snap. That's a fun way to end it. I feel like it's stuff like that where it just makes me appreciate people having fun making music. Because it should be fun no matter what. Now, this sounds fun. Hmm. I feel like that was strange because I feel like all of it in pieces don't sound like they belong, but it feels like it was kind of able to meet up in a way that would make sense. Hold on, which one is this? House of Matches. You know, it's funny. Like I said, I think I listened to a couple of the songs, or I listened to like some of these songs already. But I knew that like a few of them had like a music video or something. They were presented as a single. And as I'm listening to this, I'm like, I could imagine this being a single. And I think this, I didn't know, it was House of Matches. I think, what was it, their second single or the music video they dropped the day the album released? I think I have to also appreciate Kellen Quinn's vocal range. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, but I appreciate his vocal range because I feel like we all know him as the dude who sounds like a lady, you know, whatnot. My favorite female vocalist, Kellen Quinn. But I feel like he really has like a good low to high. The guitar solos are pretty short here, but I guess I don't really know how long a guitar solo should be. Now, I don't think there's technically a designated amount, but you know, when the guitarist is good, I guess you just want to hear him just like let it rip. Yeah, just let the drummer groove. If Sleeping with Sirens had added a part in this show where they just let the drummer just absolutely just take like 16 measures just to like play it out, I'd be fully on board. And that's a cool effect. I feel like they're just doing like a pitch shifter thing that's like not new. I want to say it's used fairly often in like a lot of, I don't want to say modern metal, but I will say it's a cool use of it. Oh, tambourine. I didn't notice a tambourine. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like this is another danceable one. Yeah, let that drummer cook, baby. Ah, I got. I like that. That is a term in music, and I cannot remember what it is. But where the music does what the lyrics say, and so I like that the chorus starts with "Take it slow," and so they decide to slow down the instrumental, or you know, there's like more. What is it? They did dotted quarter notes after doing like I want to say 8th and 16th note stuff in like the verse, you know, a quarter note to 16th note, whatever's, and then just dotted quarters to slow it down for take it slow. I feel like it is impressive how often the second verse just sounds better once you have context overall, and it just feels like it's we've hit here. Now let's like bring it back. Let me explain a little further before we come back here. You know, I feel like, what is this, like, if we count this as like another guitar solo, what is this, like the third or fourth of the album? You know what, it's probably like 2 songs ago it was a solo and then a breakdown afterwards. Or is it this one? It's this one. I was like, do they do solos and then breakdowns or something like that, where they have both in one song? The drummer had such a weird rhythm. It felt so off kiltered or off centered. It is crazy how much control a drummer has over like a song. I think it's, you can hear how much Kellen just loves singing and everything, with all like the vocal layers he'll add to a song. I just think it's funny. You can listen to some bands or artists, and at most you'll get some like vocal harmonies and oohs and ahs, and then you have Kellen, who is just ad-libbing wherever he can. Okay. I think this is the heaviest one so far. I think it's actually funny with, because breakdowns and everything are associated with like, the crashes in China's, how heavy just aggressively hitting a open hi-hat can be. Oh, this was another single. Okay. Oh yeah. I think this one, I would really wish that the chorus, I don't hate the chorus, but I really wish it just kept like the angry. I felt like, I don't know, maybe something where like Sleeping with Sirens just said, screw it, we're gonna have a song with no clean singing, Because I feel like it's doing a lot to go between this as a verse and then what the chorus is. But like, it's not bad. Again, I guess I'm just thinking like Memphis Mayfire's album Shapeshifter, how you have like the other side, but then you have the title track. By the way, I know, different album, but Shapeshifter, off of Shapeshifter, banger. That's a nasty bass tone. I do also love a breakdown where the drums are just quarter notes. Ooh, a phaser on the guitar. Just screw it, add another layer to it. But yeah, no, Kellen knows how to sing. Like, that's what I'm saying, that he added an ah there that he did not need. Because, like, it's a very pretty chorus, but it just, again, to me, it's like, it feels like a tonal mismatch. Ooh, some more bass movement. That's some bass movement. I feel like I've been neglecting the bass unless there was, like, actual moments where they shine. I heard some of that guitar noise. Some guitar harmonies too there, just a little bit. It's a very interesting. I don't. That's a very interesting, like, lead part. I wonder, I don't, hold on. Because it feels like it's like maybe a dissonant and then they let go of one of the notes to let it like sustain when they go from like the first power chord to the next one. Are they doing that again? Oh, or no, maybe it's a trill. I think it might be a trill. Or at least maybe that time it was a trill. I feel like to kind of go back a little bit, like how I said the last song, I felt like the verse and the chorus didn't really feel like they matched that well. I feel like here it's opposite. I feel like it does make sense, you know? Like, they're both very distinct parts, but you can believe that the chorus belongs to this part, you know? Mm. And you gotta have those vocal layers. You know, it's funny. I was about to say, it's funny. I feel like Sleeping with Sirens doesn't have a lot of, like, synths, and then... I mean, I'm not gonna say that these string sounds are synths, but, I mean... Did they actually get an orchestra? Or, I mean, not even an orchestra. Probably like a quartet. Get a violin player in the room. I feel like that raises the question, how hard would it be to learn, like, another stringed instrument if you know one, you know? Like, you're a violinist. Could you pick up a viola and, you know, after you learn the alto clef, like, be able to be like a one-man string quartet for a recording band if they didn't care about going, like, track by track for that? I feel like that'd just be expensive, but possibly beneficial. It would cost to spend more time in a studio space, but they wouldn't have to spend as much on musicians, I guess. I feel like it is funny. Like, you know, when you listen to a band, I don't know, I feel like you can just hear how, like, they do write their music. It's the same. Like, that part that we just went through felt like it could have been from, like, their early work. And there was another song earlier that I felt like maybe the way they wrote the intro structurally sounded like something from Complete Collapse, you know? But it doesn't feel like they're just ripping themselves off. It feels like they have things they like to do in music, and they're just finding ways to, like, do that, but keeping it fresh. Like, I can't tell you what song specifically I say this part reminds me of for the most part, you know? But, eh, still not too bad, though. Process. I feel like, I don't know what it is. I feel like that intro does. I know, part of me feels like I do get With Ears to See vibes from, like, that intro. But that is a nice, hard, like, I guess, core. I don't, do we that like little bit of dissonant at the end there. Dissonance. It sounds nice. It doesn't sound clean. I guess that's why I keep using dissonance. Whether it is or not doesn't matter to me. It's the only time I'm willing to be a little about blasé about the musical terms I'm using. not staccato, syncopated. You got syncopated screams as a response. That's nice. I feel like there's a very strong emphasis on the offbeats here. I might be wrong. I feel like there's like some type of distortion filter on Kellen's voice in this one. I find the whispering always so funny because they... This is old school. I feel like the way we went into that, into what this is old school. But yeah, the whispering, it's always so funny because I never really feel like it sounds like the vocalist of the band. Like they got somebody else to do it. You know, it's weird. I thought there would have been like a heavier part, you know? I don't know. Maybe I just completely missed the breakdown on that one, but I felt like we never really got something more. I feel like that's the one downside of having like a song that starts off at like high energy, is that if you don't make anything that goes past it, it just feels like you're kind of just stagnant for it the whole time, you know? I feel like right now we have one of two options where like everything stays soft the whole time, or we just get big hits. And I'm going for big hits. That's my guess. No. I'm not away from big hits yet. We're just building up to them. Okay. If it doesn't happen by the time we get to the chorus, then I'll admit defeat. I'm sorry. Am I hearing claves in there? Like things you hit like that, like little woods. What are those? I think they're claves. Nah, they didn't do the big hits. They just went straight into it. See, this one I feel like I'm getting 6-8 rather than 3-4. You know what I think it might be? I feel like it might be the lack of emphasis on the in-betweens between those downbeats. Like, the things are happening there, sure, but it doesn't feel like they're strong beats. I feel like I'm having a hard time. They are... I bet this is a pain to play. Like, this feels like they gotta have everything tight. And then it gets to the chorus, and it's like, alright, finally. Like, just trying to sit here and count it. Like, I'm not playing anything, and counting it is just like a pain. I wonder who he's hoping is out there. Oh. Looking back at me. Oh, there's the name of the song. I heard that there was a song on this album about God. I wonder if this is it. And then I think people were discussing whether or not Kellen is still Christian or not. Depending on how this ends, I feel like I'm thinking about how this could be used a visual for this. Had to take a breath in for that one. I hate that like got me so much. I felt like that was a jarring way to go back into this part. But I like that breakdown. I don't think anything's beaten I forget the name of the song already, but I'll remember it. I'll remember it the moment I look at the name. Just having fun over this little guitar part. I mean, but then again, if I had a voice like that, I'd be showing it off too. But I don't, so I can't. I'm trying to decide if I think that would have been a great place to end the album. I don't know how many songs there are on this thing, so I don't know how many are left. And this first time I'm doing this whole format like this, where I'm not sitting in front of my computer, it's off to the side. I just feel like they just don't do like hits satisfyingly enough. I don't know if that was supposed to be like feel like a big like boom, we just started this thing, you know? I think it was supposed to be, but it just didn't feel like it, you know? But we're building up to something at least. That one also felt like maybe we're just in a pre-chorus, but that felt like an awkward transition. Like, oh shoot, we're now here. Hold on, let's see if they. Hold on, and they did it. They did it. I don't know. That's so funny how many metal bands do like that exact thing. Drum pattern that is a 1 and 4, 1 and 4, just to go and like just straight into like a regular drum, like do 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 ga da 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I like the guitar parts happening right here, like the lead. I feel like it's really bringing me in. I feel like everything there just kind of hit. I feel like they went too far with it. I liked it, what was happening before. Is that the breakdown? That was odd. I thought we were on the second verse right there. I mean, you can have a breakdown wherever, but I did not think. Oh, God, no. I think I might have missed a part. I think I might have talked over something. I do like the guitar tones, though. Oh, just ending on the one hit. Nice. They're getting a lot of songs on these. Like whatevers. Alright, and that's it. Oh no. Okay, so that was an ending in itself. Okay, so like I said, I didn't know what was going to be the last album on that. Or sorry, the last song on that album. And I feel like they should have switched Storm Clouds and Looking Back at Me. Like, I don't know if there's a... Okay, Need You Here, that was my favorite. The fourth song on this was my favorite on this, Need You Here. But there were, like, a lot of good, like I said, I think this is the same, I guess, par for the course for me at that point with Sleeping with Sirens, where they will release an album and, song here and there will just be what sticks with me, and the rest is like, they're not too bad. But, I feel like it's better than what I would say I hear from like a lot of or some other metal albums that I've listened to, where I feel like by the time I get to song number 3, I feel like I've heard the whole album, and then the rest of the album goes exactly the way I think it is. I'm not going to say that every song on this was like fully unique and it was a new experience or anything like that, but I feel like I think I did not have the thought of this probably works better in a playlist with other songs to kind of diversify. I felt like this album in and of itself works to diversify it, like, as a diverse album where sure, you'll have like probably, you know, you'll probably be like, okay, this is going to have like this type of opening and blah, blah, blah. We're about to get to this part. But I think there's a lot of like uniqueness with like the specific parts to where it makes it just more entertaining to listen to as a whole. And I feel like if you're just listening passively, then what I'm saying doesn't make sense. But if you actually just sit down and probably just listen to like albums and just like, I guess like more critically as I'm trying to do, to see if there's parts to pick out or anything like that, then you'll hear a lot of repetitiveness that kind of makes it boring to listen to some albums or something like that. But here, as again, I'm trying to listen with like I'd say a more critical ear, I heard repetitiveness and like songwriting philosophies, I guess, but I didn't hear they found like a specific structure and they liked it enough to just stick with it the whole time. And I can appreciate that. It makes it better than probably like half the albums I've listened to for, my listening parties and everything. Because it can get really boring. You decide to sit down and give a band like how long was this album top to bottom? I gave it 44 minutes. It was 44 minutes, and thankfully at no point did I think, man, I wish I wasn't here. Honestly, I think the majority of the time, I think my main thought was I do want to see Sleeping with Sirens live again, and if they played like half of this album like live, then as long as they did what was it, Need You Here? If they did Need You Here and then decided to play like another like 3 or 4 songs off this album and then do the classics, I think I'd be fine with that, because this is not a bad album. Not one of my personal favorites, not a bad one. This is not one where I'm thinking, what the hell were they thinking? And people might disagree with me, especially with Gossip as an album, but I don't think Sleeping with Sirens has an album where they just sound like they just really phone it in. I feel like even Gossip, I feel like with all their albums, especially Gossip, especially Madness, I feel like I respect how much they just try new things and everything. So, hopefully this album cycle goes well for them, and, we can get at least another 1 or 2 bangers for the next album. But either way, that's my thoughts on an ending in itself. Sorry, again, for not talking too much about the lyrics and everything. I mean, I'm not looking at the lyrics, and I just guess I appreciate more the performances than anything else. Oh, before we go, I'm going to look up the drummer of Sleeping with Sirens. Let's see. With Sirens. Ending in itself. You know, while I'm trying to find this, I wonder if people see this as a return to form for the band, you know? Like, oh man, Sleeping with Sirens is finally good again after so many years that, you know, people have like that thought about every band when they decide to do something, you know, they decide to do something a little different and then they go back to like metal to like get those fans back. Matty Best. Matty Best. I feel like I knew that. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page, I guess, but has he done other things? Maybe I'm not following. Sounds Tonight Alive. I might have to give Tonight Alive a chance. I think I've heard good things about Tonight Alive, but yeah, Matty Best is kind of a beast. I really like his drumming on that. If that was him as the drummer. Now I'm just rambling, but let me know what you think of it ending in itself. Uh, yeah, let me know what you think, and that's my time. I hope you have a great rest of your day and or night. Peace.